So chapter 1, as I've already mentioned, is about why use video games in education. And this chapter is split into a number of subsections. And the first section is around why use video games in the classroom. And this talks a little bit about why we think video games are important in terms of learning through play and as play has developed over time. But also we're really, really hopeful that this will give people that read it some arguments to speak to their head teacher and their principal about why it's highly appropriate to use video games in the classroom, and indeed signpost to a number of schools across Europe and further afield that are already using video games well. So it's designed really to provide that safety and security of what we're proposing within the handbook is already being done at least somewhere in Europe, and hopefully that will give you the confidence to try out some of these ideas yourself. The second part of chapter 1 is a little bit about why we learn with games. And what we do here is we link this back to the theory of learning through play. Now, learning through play is incredibly common in early years classrooms and often in primary schools classrooms. But we also know that there's a global trend at the moment to have more learning through play, right from very, very young children all the way up through the primary school, the secondary school, and in the high school, and then into the workplace as well. In fact, we know that some of the most successful businesses in the world are playful by nature. And if we can accept that, and if we can accept that learning through play is a good thing, whether that is using imaginative play, using physical objects, or digital play, such as the use of video games, we can hypothesize that this is a good thing. And what we say when we think about learning through play and learning through video games is that we want to create the feelings of joy, because that's really, really important in terms of motivation. We want young people to be actively engaged through what they're doing. We want the activities to be meaningful. And in the case of video games in the classroom, we want this to be able to link to the curriculum and some kind of learning outcome. We think it's really, really important that games are socially interactive, and this develops a whole range of different skills, and video games are particularly good at that. And we also think that iteration, building on that previous knowledge, the opportunity to fail, to start again, and to build on that is an incredibly important thing. And of course, video games do all of these things for us. Also in chapter 1, we talk a little bit about inclusivity and games. And I remember since the first time that we did this MOOC, this is an area, within video games, which has changed completely in many ways. Now within all games, we have really, really good accessibility features, both within gaming consoles and on mobile phones. But also we've got really, really good accessibility features built into the games themselves in terms of the game mechanics. And of course, and in terms of inclusion and diversity, a whole suite of controllers to make sure that we're including young people and adults that may have some sort of disability to be able to access the game and therefore access the learning as well.